Yeah, so when it comes to boundaries, part 2 about boundaries, I have been through so much of this shit. I and in so many situations where I did accumulate vast amounts of evidence and saving receipts, if you will, of things that were said and done and beyond. I will use this analogy as much as it needs to be said. I'm like Aaron Eckhart in Thank You for Smoking. If you haven't seen that, it's a funny movie. It's amusing. It's interesting. Anyway, there's a scene, excuse me, he's a lobbyist for big tobacco. Hilarious. And brings like a level of honesty and integrity to this degree of corruption. It's very amusing. But anyway, sort of, something like that. But anyway, there's a scene where activists abduct him, throw him in the back of a van, and slap a shitload of nicotine patches all over him, like, "Good night, sweet prince, you're fucked now." And they leave him half naked on a statue of Abraham Lincoln in his lap. And he wakes up in the hospital, and he's been in a coma, and the doctor says, "I can't believe I'm saying this, but cigarette smoking saved your life." And Aaron Eckhart, Nick Neerler, that's his character in this case, is like, "Oh, yeah, right, because, that was an overdose, and I would have died. Yeah, okay, I get it. So, I quit before. I quit for the pregnancy when the wife was pregnant. How long, doc, until I could take it up again?" And the doctor says, "Oh, no, you don't understand. The abuse that your body has taken, you can't touch nicotine again, or it could send you into a coma and you could die." That's very relatable. Except in my case, I'm not talking about smoking. I'm talking about toxic people or just toxic behaviors. I don't need piles of evidence anymore. I got a pretty good bead on what's up. And I can sense it, I can feel it. And beyond that, it usually doesn't take long for the first signs of those behaviors to start rearing their heads. And when they do, that's it. I'm Audi 5000, as the kids like to say. I did not used to be like this. I used to be overly giving, to my own massive detriment, pathologically self-sacrificial, and putting everybody else's needs before my own and all that good stuff. And, the thing is, I was doing it for people who I was trying to use it and guide it in a way to help them solve their existential problems so they could stop feeding on me, basically. So I didn't want to cut them off. I cared about them. Before I understood what was really going on there. Of course, in a few cases, I still do care about some in particular. One especially. But I can't have anything to do with that person. Whether or not it's possible for that person to recover or be resurrected, I have a feeling it's quite possible. But it won't be easy, and it would take dedication. And considering the lifetime of stuff and the track record so far, and knowing what would happen if I were to even come in brief contact with that person, the effect it would have toxically to my system. Can't do it. For the longest time, I used to fault myself because I noticed these effects for the longest time. I just, in many dynamics. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm not strong enough or something to What's wrong with me? Why can't I block this out or whatever? That's not how it works. I'd like to say that for anybody else who might find themselves in that situation. It's not you. You're being used as a battery. A blood bag. A karmic filter organ. And an emotional filter organ. Whatever kind of prototypical version of affection or love that zombies or zombie-like people may have for you, it's not what you experience. And it's them seeing you more as an appliance, not a person. Take into account the fact that they don't listen to anything you say about trying to protect yourself from the things that they're doing. That's one bit of evidence. Another is, well, they have a funny habit of not holding themselves accountable for anything. And the real slippery ones are just, I mean, you know, they're accountability and responsibility Teflon. They slip all of theirs onto you, trick you into it. It's instinctive shit. Some of them are conscious of it to some degree or another, and those, you know, they enjoy it. Some of them will laugh at you behind your back about it, basically, because they think it's funny. It's something to keep in mind. It can take a long time, a lot of work to disentangle and start seeing this stuff and really start paying attention. A decent person will automatically respect your boundaries, because that's just something that living beings do. That's instinct for the living, if you will. And sorry for these, you know, potentially offensive monikers, especially if any zombies or partial zombies might be listening in, but for fuck's sake, I mean, what do you, I mean, come on. It's not like I'm not without compassion for you people, but, you know, there are things you can do. There's a lot of them. And I just so happen to know and be aware of that, how zombie rationale thinks, and by default is to make sure to find only the kind of advice that says that there's no other alternative but to do and be this. Anything else is just no. Hogwash. That's an excuse to keep it going. Boundaries. I think that's about it for now. Thanks for tuning in.